This is Jayashankar, Director of Campus Abroad and for CA Counselling Services. Campus Abroad, as many of you know, has been established since 2001 and has been in the forefront of providing advisory services to students for overseas study. Over the years, we have had the privilege of guiding nearly more than 5,000 students for further study, including several laureates who have used our services to go overseas. We have recently expanded the scope of our services, which will be explained in detail. I take this opportunity to introduce our speakers for this afternoon. Tony Malik, who heads the CA Counselling Services operations. Tony recently retired as a partner with Deloitte. Ms. Parul Patel, an experienced consultant with a postgraduate qualification in statistics. Both of them will be giving you a detailed presentations about the services being offered by CACS. Thank you once again for listening, and I now request Mr. Malik to address the audience.
Sorry for this technical hitch for a moment. Okay, great. We're all set. Thank you, Chitaji, for the nice introduction. And a very, very warm welcome, good afternoon, and very, very warm welcome to all the distinguished guests here. And this session, I think what we are doing is basically giving you an introduction of CACS. Just for your information, what CACS is. CACS is an EdTech arm of Campus Abroad. You all already know what Campus Abroad is. Campus Abroad has been in the business for the last 23 years. And they have been working with numerous universities across the world. And like Chitaji mentioned that they have helped more than 12,000 students to secure places overseas. We are a company, CACS, CA Counselling Services, I will call that. In short, I will call it CACS. It's a company specializing in admission consulting, test preparation, corporate trainings, and online education provider. And thank you all for giving us an opportunity to present our services to you. My special thanks to Vikash Ramdhani, who is, I'm sure you all know, he's a rector of Marcel Cabon Secondary School, and he's a Secretary Association of Rectors and Deputy Rectors. Thank you very much once again, Vikash, for organizing this for us. So as far as I was explaining that, as far as Campus Abroad is concerned, Campus Abroad has been in the business for the last 23 years. So this company that we have formed is a natural extension of the services which are being provided by Campus Abroad. It's a lateral extension, really. So we are committed to delivering world-class guidance, personalized mentorship, and holistic education support. Our aim is to prepare students for successful academic journeys, not only in Mauritius, but beyond. We want our students to propel towards global success, not only in Mauritius, but go overseas, excel, and not only in education, but in their professional fields as well. So we basically are preparing the students right from the beginning. We are starting the students, working with students from Form 3 onwards. Okay, so the journey starts very early as far as the students are concerned. So we go with them all the way up to the admission process and beyond. As you may have experienced in your role as rectors and deputy rectors, that no students are the same. There are students, all the students are actually individuals. They are different from each other. They have different interests, different skill sets, different personalities, and abilities. So what we need to do is we need to work with students individually, rather than working in a group. Obviously, we conduct some trainings and classes in a group, but we feel that an individual attention to each of the students goes a longer way, because we need to understand each of the students. We need to understand their personalities, understand their interests, and understand where they want to go. And that's what we are actually doing. We're specializing in the individual care and individual attention for the students. As you all know, students go through a lot in terms of their applications for overseas universities. And especially when they are actually preparing for their final exams in their classes. So for them to sort of take away their focus from the exam preparation in their final year and actually come and start doing the preparation or applications for the universities, it is a big effort for them. Not only for them, it is for the parents as well. Parents actually put in equal amount of effort. So it is for them to choose, which is the correct career path. Once they have decided which is the right career path, they need to decide which is the right course for them. Once they have decided on the right course for them, they need to decide on which university is the best for them. Once they have decided on the universities and the country that they want to go to, there's a lot of research involved. And does a student have time? Student really has to spend a fair amount of time. The parents are spending a considerable amount of time doing this. Like I said, that this is during the final year where they need to focus on their studies. This process needs to start very early on. Okay, the process will start when they are in their Form 5 or Form 6, not leaving it to the last minute, the last year. And this pain that they're going through, we take away some of that pain from them. We at CACS, we feel that if we were to do some research for them, we understand the needs of the child, we can actually help them with their course, which course that they should go for, which university they should go for, which country they should go for, taking into account their basically everything that their interests, their aptitude, their skills, their personality. We take into account all of that, and taking into account obviously the affordability, so whether the parents can afford it. And for the whole process, we actually get the parents involved. Although not always a good idea for parents to get involved in this, because parents at times push their children to doing a specific course, which may or may not be the right course for the student. So we actually step in here, and we have separate meetings with the parents, separate meetings with the children, the students, and find out what they really need, okay? Not necessarily what the parents need. So it may very well happen that a child may be very, very bright. You put him in medical, he will excel in. You put him in law, he will excel in. But really, is he going to become a good doctor? Is he going to become a good lawyer? Maybe not. Academically, yes, he can do everything. You put him in anywhere, he will do it. But we need to find out earlier on what his real interest is. And that interest comes through the testing that we actually recommend earlier on. We recommend this psychometric testing right from grade 3 onwards. They should be doing the psychometric tests twice or 3 times before they actually decide on which university to go to, which country to go to, which course that they need to do. So we recommend that the children should be doing this psychometric test 3 or 4 times, or rather at least 3 times, because the students' behavior, these are formative years for the students. These are and the behavior and the pattern and their interest, they change over the years. So actually, if we can do it 2 or 3 times during their from Form 3 onwards, it would really help them. So we provide personalized guidance on international admissions, ensuring informed decisions, considering their unique strengths, weaknesses, aptitude, interest, and preference. And so this is very, very important for us to understand what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. So based on that, once we know, we can actually tailor a program for them. And that's what we actually do. In our premium consulting services, this is what we do. We understand the individual needs of the child. The strengths, the weaknesses, the interests, the aptitude. In Mauritius, many students need demonstration, they need to demonstrate English language proficiency. Many appear for SAT exams. While some institutions offer English exam, there are not many institutions which offer other tests like SAT and GMATs and GREs and all of that. So we are at CA Counselling Service, we are actually providing one-stop service to all the students in Mauritius. Not only these test preparations, we provide premium consulting services, premium counseling services, and basically help them with the overall process. I will take you through the process that we actually go through with each of the students to help them. And Parul, my colleague, will share some success stories with you later on as to determine how we have conducted or helped the students with their SAT preparations and how well they have done. So we prepare students for rigorous test preparation, SAT, which is basically for the US undergrads. And SAT, as you all know, is mainly for the US universities. However, we encourage students to actually, even if they're not going to the US university, we still encourage students to take the SAT exams, SAT tests, because a good score in SAT will actually get them a place in any other university around the world. Because even though not a requirement, but they will actually consider it if they have a good SAT score. So it will actually improve their chances of getting a place. So student applying to USA need to apply via common application. And there aren't many places or many institutions which are offering the services for the US applications actually. So the common application, which is quite complex. So we at CA Counselling Services have the expertise in this area. So we have senior counselors, senior advisors on our panel who actually help us, assist us with the students' US applications. Our premier admission consulting services help students select the right course, right universities, and the countries aligned with their academic strengths and career goals, and of course, the affordability. Parul will take you through the details of various processes and tests a little later. I would like to just give you an overview as to what we do, right, from beginning up to the end. very quickly, what we do is we meet with the students. A student maybe who comes to us, we meet with the students together with the parents first. We do a profile analysis. Our profile analysis basically to see what their likes are, what their dislikes are, what subjects they are good at, and all of that. We'll do a profile analysis. That is a very raw profile analysis. Then we look at, for a person of this caliber needs to get into a university, what are the gaps that he's got right now that we need to fill? So we work on that gaps, whether the university is looking for extracurricular activities, right? If we start early, around Form 3 or Form 4, we've got enough time for them to actually go through those extracurricular activities to actually fill in their applications or the resumes. So we fill in the gaps for them. We then do a goal setting for them. Goal setting has to be SMART, specific, measurable, all of that, and the timeliness. So it has to be SMART objective, the SMART goal setting. We set a timeline for them, that by this time they will be considering or doing this particular activity or doing this application on such and such date. So we are actually working with them right from the beginning on that. And then once we have done that, we do a complete profile building, which actually can be presented to the universities. Then we actually sit with them and together with the parents. Then we do the university and the country and the university shortlisting. We may be doing an application for different countries. We may be doing an application for Canada or UK or Australia. So whichever the country that we're looking at, we will shortlist those universities. And by shortlisting those universities, we are actually narrowing the search for them. Okay? So we're basically taking away a lot of research work from them and letting them focus on their final year exams. We prepare the personalized prep plan, essays, and personal statements. We don't prepare it for them. We help them, we guide them for these essays and personal statements. And once they have done the draft, we actually look at them, we edit for them. But this is something that obviously they will need to do it themselves. We also help them, guide them through the application process, what goes in the application, how will the application become strong. So we assist them with the application process. And also, once that is done, once they have secured an admission in one of the colleges or whatever, we help them with the scholarship guidance. We give them scholarship guidance, and then the visa preparation and the orientation towards that for that country. So this is the whole process that we actually go through. And we don't stop there. We actually look for, even after the admissions, we actually stay with them, be in contact with them towards their professional careers as well. Help them with internship if possible. I mean, we have students coming in, campus abroad students coming in after so many years of completing the student, they're coming looking for internship or jobs, and we help them wherever we can to actually put in touch with the prospective employers as well. Today, we are proud to be architects of success for students as they embark from academic to professional journeys. I mean, you must have experienced how proud you feel when a student who's gone through your process in the school and has actually gone into a good university and now is secured a very, very senior job. He comes to meet with you and you must feel very, very proud. And I see that day in, day out with Campus Abroad. Campus Abroad, they have been in the business for the last 23 years, and they have students coming in who they recruited 20 years ago. They're coming in and they are some very, very senior CEOs and directors in organizations. They come to see them, just to thank them and all that, which is commendable. I mean, which makes you feel very proud, and I'm sure you actually do that too. Another service which I have briefly mentioned to you is not so widely used in Mauritius is the psychometric evaluation. And this is something that I feel it is the most powerful tool for any student's journey. The psychometric evaluation is an essential tool for guiding students towards suitable career paths, selecting the right course by assessing their personality traits, interests, and values. It helps identify strengths and weaknesses, ensuring career choices with natural talents and personal preferences. So basically what it takes is basically taking all of their personality traits, their interests, their values, what their natural talents are, puts it together. Scientifically, it brings out something which tells you what your child is really interested in, what field he should be following. Not what his parents want him to follow, not what his peers want him to follow, not because what his peers are doing something, what he's interested in. Not only with this, he or she will excel in the educational field, he will excel in his or her professional field. Like I have mentioned before, a bright candidate could do any subjects, MBBS or law, he will be good at doing and passing these exams. But whether he will become a good doctor or a good lawyer, the psychometric assessment will actually help them to do so. So these assessments pinpoint interests and strong points, matching them with the appropriate academic fields for a rewarding learning experience. It is a wonderful tool to identify aptitude, personality, and interests of an individual. And I encourage all of you to actually get your students to actually do this at least once in their Form 4, Form 5, or at least twice. Form 6, Form 7, when they're making the application, a little too late maybe, but so that's why I feel that this actually should be done together with the parents. And my colleague Parul will actually take you through the process for the psychometric evaluation that we do. But this is something that we do together with the parents and on one-to-one with the child. So that, when we're doing together with the parents, so the child is not forced into admitting what the parents want. So this is a very, very individual assessment, which is done with the children, and it's just a very, very scientific way of learning it. So that's all really I have for now. And so I'll hand over to Parul for the details here. We are going to be around to give you more information, either during cocktail or even after. There will be a question and answer session after we finished our talks. So please feel free to ask any question, whatever queries that you have, whatever doubts that you have about any of these tests that we do, our PBM consulting, psychometric tests and all of that, so we'll be more than happy to answer those. Parul? Parul is like Chitraji has mentioned, given a brief introduction about Parul. Parul is our colleague. She's a senior counselor, advising students on these test preparations, psychometric testing, and PBM testing. Parul?
Can everyone hear me? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Jaishankar. Thank you, Mr. Jaishankar. Thank you, Tony. And good evening, everyone. And thank you for your presence today. We are greatly honored. I'll dive straight into what we are here for, and I'll explain a little about what we do. So, our approach to students' admission journey is divided in 3 parts. So that is psychometric testing, the test preparation, and the career guidance and counseling. So it starts way ahead in Form 3, as Tony mentioned. Because sometimes we feel there is a gap between the ambition of the student and what the parents are thinking and the aptitude, the inherent aptitude of the student himself. So there are three parameters: the ambition, what he wants to do; secondly, what the parents want him to do; and third, what in his inherent aptitude is. So that is where the psychometric testing comes into play. So the psychometric testing word, it sounds very complex, but actually to the core, it's a simple online test. It's a simple online test of approximately 40 questions, which the student takes on their own. They are called Holland codes. So it helps the students to discover their personality. A personality, I would say, their strengths, their weaknesses, their cognitive abilities, and everything, which inherent, it helps them in choosing their subjects, and we get to know their learning styles as well. You know, sometimes the students, some they want to study in the morning, some study in the evening, sometimes the students study with music also. So these kind of tests, they help us understand the learning style of the students, whether you're a morning learner, an evening learner. You know, we have questions which guide you through all this. And this self-awareness, it leads to a goal setting, which inherently leads to career preparation and personal growth. So that's what the psychometric testing is all about. Now, how it happens is that the results of the psychometric test, it can be classified into 6 personality types. Now, these 6 personality types are R for realistic, I for investigative, A for artistic, S for social, E enterprising, and C conventional. So when a student takes a test, he is judged into, he is personalized, his personality is coded into these 6 types of parameters. So now what does that mean? R for realistic. If a person is high in R, that means he is hands-on, practical and mechanical tasks. So this person is good as an architect, as an engineer, in construction jobs. So similarly, if a student is high in I, which means he has high analytical skills, he is research oriented. So that leads to careers in science, research, even academic research. So because he has the investigative nature. So A, artistic, again as the name suggests, it's creative, expressive. So people with, the chefs with culinary skills. These days we have user experience kind of careers, how the user would feel. So these kind of graphic designing. So these students would be high on the A. Now social, as the word suggests, it is people who are very good at interpersonal skills. By interpersonal skills, it's like teachers, academicians, healthcare, these kind of people. And E for enterprising. Enterprising, as the name suggests itself, they are the entrepreneurs, people who are good at management, who are good at sales. So they go into the E category. And then the conventional. Conventional is people who are organized, who are structured at their work. So these kind of people are good at finance. They are good at accounting jobs, admin jobs. So these are the personality types that in psychometric testing, a student is tested on. Now, this is typically a report, an example of a report that is generated after a psychometric test. So, as you can see here, the student is realistic 3, investigative 9, high on artistic. So what we do is, we read the 3 parameters that he's high on. Which means, in this particular example, the person is a CEA type, which means conventional, enterprising, and artistic. So, the test gives us this personality type. But what do we do? As Tony said, at CA Counselling, we value add here. And by value addition, we mean that we conduct our interviews, our meetings with the parent, we have meetings with the student, We have one-to-one meetings, we have group discussions with them, because we need to know where the student is coming from. We need to know their background. We need to know their ambitions. We need to know their reservations. So everything. So in these kind of meetings, they open up about what they want, what the parents want. We know their personality type with the online scientific test. So that helps we have counselors, certified counselors, who then analyze everything, analyze the profile. We know the background of the student, what they want, and then we prepare a holistic report. Now that report from the certified counselor is then shared with the parents, shared with the student, and that helps the student to go into the career path. Now this process, as Tony mentioned, starts at Form 3, because that is when we have the first selection of subjects. So if it is done right there, the student gets a little idea of how they should be selecting the subjects. So we do that, but their minds are still growing. So we would say that he should again repeat it in Form 5. And then, when they are narrowing down on their subjects, when they do that, again they get some more idea. Their minds have grown, they have evolved. So that helps to again narrow down the kind of personality that they are going to. And so that is what psychometric testing is all about, and we are there to help the students in this. So any questions we'll take up later. So this is typically the test that will look like on the after scientific test. The personality type, ECS, and then there are recommended career pathways. But as we say, we value add and we give our own interpretations. Because we are in Mauritius, these are online tests. They are made in the US, they are made in the UK. So we personalize them a little as well for the country. So now we come to the aptitude test preparation. So aptitude test preparation, as you know, is the SAT for US, the UCAT if the students want to do medical in the UK, the LNAT they want to do law, UCAT ANZ if they want to do medical or dental in New Zealand or Australia, IELTS and TOEFL we all know. So what we do in these aptitude test preparation is that we break down the process for them. We give them the strategies, we give them hand-holding, so that by the end of the journey, by the end when the student is understanding the aptitude test preparation with us, by the end of it, they have a solid game plan how to get the best score. These score, as Tony mentioned, we have our O-level, our A-level scores, but these aptitude tests, they test the college readiness of a student. So it is like a parallel report card that they are carrying with them, because it tests them not on the knowledge the O-levels and the A-levels are doing, but the aptitude, which is very important for life ahead. A little breakup of how it's done. So the test preparations are done, aptitude tests for US, UK and Australia. We have the SATs for undergraduate, and the LSATs for law, GRE and GMAT for MS and MBAs. Similarly, UCAT for medicine in the UK, LNAT for law, ISAT for medicine in Monash, and UCAT ANZ for medicine in Australia and New Zealand. I can share the PPT if you want later. I will share it with you so that you have all the information. Now, what we offer is, these are comprehensive packages that our teachers, we have faculty which has been really researched upon by our veterans, Mr. and Mrs. Jaishankar, Tony. So we have worked out comprehensive packages for these tests, which are 30 classes for SAT, 40 hours for UCAT, 15 hours for LNAT. But as you know, we are Campus Abroad, CA Counselling, we are a very student-oriented company. So we don't want to, tell the student, you have to take this, take it or leave it. No. What we do is, we also provide tailor-made solutions, which means, suppose a student comes and says, ma'am, I'm preparing on my own, but I have doubts. So what can I do? Okay, fine. we can book a doubt clearing session for them. You prepare yourself, you come to us, you come us with your doubts, we will do 1 class, 2 class, whatever that we'll discuss, we take a 1-to-1 with them and the teacher, we understand the doubts, and we can have only doubt clearing sessions. Suppose a student wants to do only 1 section, like UCAT has 5 sections, but they don't want to do 5 sections. It's okay, we can prepare them only for 1 section. So, we have got really tailor-made solutions for the students. We can give them what they want. So that is the beauty, because we are here to help the students. We really want them to take the aptitude test because it will open their doors for a lot of other universities. And we can help them howsoever they want. Now, just understanding the test format of the SAT exam. For example, I'll just tell you briefly. So we have the reading and the writing section, which is English, and the math section. So both of them are on a scale of 800. Now these scores, these tests are now digital. By digital we mean that there is a Blue Book app which the students download on their laptop, and then they take it to the test centers. The test centers here are Lycée des Mascarons and Lighthouse. So they do the exam on their own laptop digitally. And now the SAT is digitally adaptive. By digitally adaptive, I would say reading and writing has 2 modules. So the first module, they will take the exam. So the second module will be based on how they have made the first exam. If they have done it brilliant, they will get a difficulty level will be high, which will fetch them more marks in the second module. But if they have done average in the first module, they will get a set which is of their level, which will fetch them low marks, but they will not be nervous in the second module. So these tests are digitally adaptive. So they are all multiple choice questions mainly. Now, often I have seen that, when the students start the preparation, they come and say, "Ma'am, this is very easy." Yes, easy, yes, because I tell them we are not testing them on knowledge. That is this is your aptitude. If you have 10 hours to do the same paper, everybody can get a 1600 on 1600 in SAT. But why they don't get? Why they get an 1100 or why they get a 1200? Because when there is a limited time of 2 hours and you have to do those questions, what you need is strategy, you need speed, and you need accuracy. And that is where our teachers come in. They give the students the strategies, the tips, everything, that whatever they are answering in those 2 hours, they are accurate. And that is what will build up their test score. So this is what the SAT is all about. Similarly, we have the UCAT, the LNAT, the formats for these, which I will just make a little cursory this thing, and I'll come here. So we know everyone is going digital, AI is coming. So what CA Counselling is now planning, we are planning our own SAT portal. Now this SAT portal will give the student a 1-year access with their own login ID. We are working on the portal right now. So with this ID, they can practice 3,300 plus questions. They will have several full-length adaptive tests. Adaptive means totally simulated to what the test environment would be. And the assignments will be given on difficulty level based. So basically this portal is and they can log in anything, log in out. It's basically up to them. So we are working on the portal so that the student gets more freedom to practice. Here again, as I say, we are student oriented. Even if the student is not taking classes with us, it's fine. He can just come and purchase the login ID. And he can prepare on their own. We can give him the login ID. He can practice on our SAT portal. So we have all that flexibility, but the students should know that all this is available and they can make good use of it. Now, I would also like to say that typically if we see the top universities in the world, 30 to 40% of the universities are in the US. And CATS today is the one-stop destination who will work through, as Tony said, with the students. We'll handhold them throughout their application process for USA. Just for example, I've listed, these are the top 17 universities of the world. And if you see, 9 of them are from the US. The MIT, Harvard, Stanford, California, Chicago, UPenn, Cornell, Caltech, and Princeton. So these are the kind of universities that we should also focus on, sending our students to. Our students, they have the ability, but they need the hand-holding and they need the motivation. You are the voice of authority. You can do it. Okay, now you must be wondering why US? Because I will draw an example here. A student with an average marks, do you think he would stand a chance at the top universities of the world? Do you think a student who is not an A and A plus can get into an Oxford or get into a Cambridge? Maybe no. But if a student is average, he still stands a chance to go into a Princeton or he go into a Harvard. Why? Because US has a very holistic approach to education. They take the academic transcripts in this thing, but they also take the sports, the extracurricular, the SATs, the personal statement. The universities have their own essays, which the students have to write. So, and we also understand a student is not just their scores on O levels and A levels. A student is much more than that. And that is what the US education offers. They offer a holistic approach and they take the admissions also accordingly, which we have to tell the students. Just a little listing of what the US education provides: academic excellence, diverse programs, research opportunities. Most of the universities in the world today, the top universities, do provide this. But there is something also which the US universities are providing, which I myself has experienced over my journey. My daughter studies there. So that, they have the flexibility of changing majors. Sometimes a student takes an admission, he's bright at everything. Okay, I want to do engineering. 2 years down the line, they say, no, I think I'm more suitable, I want to do a data science, or I want to do something like that. So with the US universities, they will give you the flexibility to change your majors without losing an year. They have the tools, they have the advisors, they have counseling services, they will go through a lot of internal question answer sessions, but they will give you the flexibility to change the majors, which is very important for a student sometimes. Sometimes they get in, after 1 year they want to change. Parents' money is lost, they lose their time, and then they restart after 1 year with some other subject. So the US universities offer this flexibility as well. Now, a little briefly, I'll tell you how the application process works. So, 2 things as we do for all universities. We research the universities we want to go to, we make a short list, and we research the field we want to study. So now, for researching of the university that we want to go to, it's based on the location, ranking, faculty, campus facilities, tuition fees, and financial aid. Now, why I say location? We are in Mauritius. If a student, maybe the student doesn't like snow, why would he apply to a university in New York or Chicago? There are universities in California. There are students who like city life. Okay, apply to New York, apply to Chicago. There are students who like semi-urban. There are students who are okay with a rural setup. So, just not the name. When we sit with a student, we have to see the location. What preferences does the student have? What kind of location he will be comfortable in? He or she have to spend 4 years of their life away from their family, so they have to be happy in that place. So we work with the student, and that's how we understand we make the shortlist for them about university, course, financial, the tuition fees, everything has to be considered. And US offers a lot of financial aid. And we being in Africa, we really have an edge over that. So, but the only thing is we have to explore. We have to tell the students it's available. And at CA Counseling, we help the students with the preparation, with the application process, everything. Now, the steps quickly, if I say, would be to prepare for the test. We assimilate the application materials. We submit the documents on the Common App. Then we apply for the financial aid and scholarships. We prepare for interviews, and we receive the offer letter. So that's how the application process goes, and then the student makes the decision. So to conclude, for our track record, we started in January, and within 6 months we've had 2 cohorts of SAT students who have taken our SAT exams. We have a student who will be taking a UCAT exam tomorrow. We have one who will be taken on 24th. There are students who are studying LNAT with us. In fact, there's a little fun fact I would like to share. Our LNAT student was the first student that we got, and she wanted to do law because she saw Suits on Netflix. That is, I said, why you want to study LNAT? And she's like, ma'am, I saw Suits on. So maybe Harvey Specter is influencing students, their choices for universities as well. So, our students at the Premium Consulting, where we handhold them. You come to us and we will take care of everything for you. So this is the summary of what we do and how we do. So we would love to hear your feedback. Since you are the point of contact for students, please share your feedback, reach out to us anytime, and it will help us evolve. You give us ideas where we are wrong, where we can be better. You are the ambassadors. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for coming today.